Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we're going to talk about some distance drivers, and let's get into it. All right, so the distance driver slot for me has kind of changed a whole lot. One disc has pretty much stayed the same, which I'm going to talk about later, but it rotates in and out, changes a lot. But I kind of really like where my bag is at right now. So we're going to talk about those. But before I get into the top five, I want to talk about two that I'm going to say are probably honorable mention. They're kind of similar to another disc that's kind of taken its place. But these two are the Octane and the Mayhem. They're very similar. The Mayhem is described as a beat-in octane, but the numbers for the Octane are 13, 5, minus 1, 2. And the Mayhem's numbers are 13, 5, minus 1.5, 2. The Fission Octane, I really like the best. One, it feels great, and you don't have to throw it as hard to try to get the flight out of it. And when you don't have a big arm, having more gyroscopic ability is always good. So the Octane, but the numbers are very similar just because it's fission to the Mayhem, but they're both really great. I think I'm going to stick with the Mayhem and try that out for right now, but they go in and out of the bag. Two very great discs. They come in neutron and proton and plasma as well. Very similar, very great disc. A lot of people use them for their max distance driver. Just sometimes that the 13 is a little bit too big for my hand. It's hard to grip. It's not very comfortable, but still two great discs. I'd recommend you try them out. I'm going to try with the Octane or the Mayhem for a little while and see how it goes. All right, number 5 is the Panic. The Panic is one of the most overstable discs I have ever thrown, and that's what I like about it. Its numbers are 13, 4, 0, minus 0.53. It's just a straight up beefcake. I carry the one in my bag right now is 167 grams, so it's a little bit lighter, but that doesn't mean it's not any less stable. It just wants to fight to the ground. Throw it in headwinds. I use it for some tomahawk shots or some forehand shots, but it's really nice for some skip shots, which I really like. I like to throw it on some wide hyzers and have it come down. Super beefy. Again, it's a 13 speed, so sometimes it's just not very great to grip, but great disc if you need something super overstable, just to fly in the air and get to the ground. Fight headwinds. It's pretty fun to throw. Number 4 is going to be the Tenacity. The Tenacity is another 13 speed. Its numbers are 13, 5, minus 2.5, 2. It's described as I would say it's a longer wave, kind of how I would put it. It's understable for me, even though it's a 13 speed. I like to throw it in some long shots to kind of get some S out of it, some turn out of it, put it on some anhyzer and get some big turn out of it. Throw in a little bit of hyzer flips. It's great. It's fun to throw. Just played around the other day in the cold, so it wasn't great for filming, but super fun disc to throw. Comes in neutron. Sadly, it doesn't come in any other plastics, but I have a lap second plasma one that's pretty cool. I haven't really thrown it yet, but Tenacity is a great disc. If you need an understable distance driver, go for it. All right, number 3. Really shouldn't be a surprise, but it's going to be the Simon Timelapse. I love the Timelapse, mostly because it's a distance driver that actually feels good in my hand, and that's what I like it for. It's overstable. This one is 175 grams. It's max weight. It's super stable. Just wants to get to the ground. That's what I like to throw this one for. Throw it some headwinds. If it's, I haven't really I've thrown it in a lot of headwinds, but I know that it's still going to be pretty stable. It's less stable than the Panic is, so anything that's super windy, I usually grab that, but Timelapse is great. Its numbers are 12, 5, minus 1, 3. It's the first 12 speed in the MVP Axiom lineup. It's great. It's got great hand feel. It's got some serious dome. You can see it. It's fun to throw. This one is a little bit lighter weight. It's 171 grams. It's a little bit less domey than that one, I would say. But this one, I can get a little bit more flight out of it. I can definitely tell the glide is more compared to this one. But it's a great disc. Still, it's great in the hand. So what I don't like about it is I don't like domey forehand discs. So it's kind of difficult to throw in forehands, but I'm kind of getting the hang of it a little bit. It's growing on me for forehands, but Timelapse is a great fun disc to throw. I'd recommend to get one if you're looking for kind of like a beginner distance driver. Go for that. Number 2 is going to be the Zenith. This is the first driver in James Conrad's line. Its numbers are 11, 5, minus 0.52. Zenith was really fun to throw when it first came out. It's a little bit less stable than a Photon. I would say the Photon is kind of more of your like Octane level stability, but the Zenith is fun to throw. I like it for forehands. It's got a lot of glide. It's pretty flat. I like to throw it anywhere above 350 is typically when I reach for the Zenith. It's got some glide, put some turn and some ante on it, get some turn out of it, and get some nice flights. Like I said, I like to throw it in forehands. I got a couple different runs of them that fly very different, which is cool. You can kind of fill different slots, but right now I just have this one in the bag. It's just fun to throw. This one's 169 grams. It's a little bit lighter, but it's still got the stability that you need it for sometimes. But so the Zenith, it's a fun disc. All right, number 1. It's the Wave. This is the Fizzy Wave. It's a fission wave. See the cool fizzy wave stamp on it. It's 166 grams, this one specifically. But the wave itself, its numbers are 11, 5, minus 2, 2. If you get it in fission, it's going to have a minus 2.5 turn. And it definitely shows. I use it for anything that I need to turn over, anything that I need to long bomb shots, some great long hyzer flip shots. The Wave was one of the first distance drivers that I got, and without having an arm speed, you can see the distance in it. Super fun to throw. You can throw it on rollers. The Wave, this one specifically is super special to me. I don't want to lose it, but the only one I carry right now, but the Wave is just fun to throw. You can pretty much do anything with it. If you get it in neutron, it's pretty stable. Some of the proton ones are pretty stable as well. I haven't really thrown one in a while, but super great disc. The plasma ones are pretty stable at first, but then they beat in. They're great. But the Wave, super fun distance driver to throw. If you need something that you can turn over with ease, get the Wave. If you want something you can hyzer flip, get a Wave. Like I said, distance drivers are all over the place for me, but this one is a staple, and I can't take it out. I'll link MVP's website down below, and you can check them out for yourself. Until then, see you in the next one.